So was it a revelation for you? I mean, did you really feel like this is more of who I am than the life that I was living before?
100%. I was living in London too, so it was all about earning money to buy as many things as possible, to try and impress as many people as possible. And then at some point I was like, wow, I cannot do that. I cannot spend my entire life just seeking to buy things and impress people that I don't like. And then when I started spearfishing, it really gave me a different perspective on life. It gave me it humbled me in a way that was so intense that it changed my way of thinking completely. Basically. So
How did it humble you? Like in what way?
Because I realized that when I filmed a documentary I filmed a documentary called Aqua Negra in Cape Verde 2 years ago.
Aqua Negra?
Yeah, agua. Agua with a
Agua?
G.
Does that mean black water? Is that what that
Yes,
means?
in Portuguese. And then we were there for about 5 or 6 weeks, and then the living conditions were really bad. And there was no grocery stores around, and we had to catch our own food, and it was really a self-sufficient type of trip. And the first week, I remember the only thing I could focus on was, oh God, this is terrible. We don't have a shower. There's no hot water. The bathroom is disgusting. I'm starving. There's nothing around. And then all you can think is like how your comfort's gone. And after a week, that's the focus changed on the good things that we're seeing around us. And by having nothing all of a sudden, then I was like, oh, I actually now, for the first time in my life, can take the time to realize what's good around me. And then how we were having fires with the neighbors, and then how we were offering them fish, and we would think, oh, if I give this guy 2 fish, he's going to eat 1 today and then 1 tomorrow. But no, they're inviting the neighbors to share, and they make sure that there's like a whole like community sense to all of it. And I was like, wow, I've been living in London for 6 years. I don't even know the name of my neighbor. And it's bad. It's not a way of living that I want. It's not focusing on the right things, and that's in that way, it's realize how much of an asshole we actually became, and I just didn't want to do that.
Well, it's a very recent way that people have been living. This way of living in apartment buildings and the way of living in houses where we don't know our neighbors.
Yes.
In terms of human history, it's very recent. And I don't think we're designed for it.
I don't think so either. It's the human. I do believe that a human being, to be happy, you need to have this sense of community, which is why, when you go in the subway and you see like somebody singing, everybody's laughing, and you see those videos YouTube, and it makes you all warm and happy inside. Yeah, it's because that's what we're meant to be, and we're meant to live with other people. We're meant to socialize. We're meant to have this strong feeling of I don't know how to say that in English. To be part of something, to be part of a group, and people like that. And I do think it's a necessity for a human being to be actually happy.
I think so too, and I think it's probably one of the reasons why so many people are so grossly unhappy and so depressed and so disconnected, and they feel alienated even though they live in these giant cities. People feel extremely lonely, even though there's a lot of people around. I mean, one of the weirder things about New York City, I have friends that live in New York City, and one of the things that they say they love is how many people are there. There's all this energy. I'm like, yeah, well, you're not even talking to those people. That's what's weird. It's like you're alienated in this little 1,200-foot little cubicle that you live in. This little, I guess 1,200 foot's not that small. But, some of them, like Ari's place is like, I have to ask him. I think it's tiny. It's probably like half that. It's probably like 600 feet.
It was probably like $5 million.
It's probably super expensive, right? But the idea is that you don't know anybody around you, but you're stacked around all these people, and then you go out, you're walking around these people, but you're not really talking to them. And you have a few people that you're friends with, maybe that you work with, and you interact with them, but then you're constantly surrounded by all these other people that you don't even know. It's a very weird way to live, whereas the way you were living, the way you were describing this, with these people, and they're all sharing fish, and everyone's taking care of everybody and giving some to their neighbors and sharing, and that's how people have been living forever. I think there's certain human reward systems that are built into who we are as a being, as a species, that just aren't being met. And that's
True.
why I'm so fascinated by your choice to go from being a lawyer to living this, very, very interesting life of spearfishing.